it's Mel. Today I wanted to start a week in the life vlog. My goal was to start this early this morning, but I didn't wake up early. I woke up super late. I didn't even get out of bed until after 9 o'clock, and that's very late for me. So I was behind all morning. I did my usual morning routine and I read a little bit. I was reading Florida by Lauren Groff because this was one of my TBR spin books. I'm going to put this one down. I am going to read it. I am going to do a TBR spin video on it, but it's just not going to be this month. The other short story collection that I'm reading for that is Woman Hollering Creek. I'm hoping to finish this in the next couple of days. I'm also reading a Claude McKay selected poems. Claude McKay was a Jamaican man who moved to New York and was one of the founding fathers of the Harlem Renaissance. He was mainly a poet, but he did also write a few other things, some essays and some novels. This is a collected selection of his poems, and it has a really interesting foreword by him that appeared when some of these poems were put into publication in 1918. That has been my favorite part of this collection so far. The beginning of this collection is his Songs of Jamaica, which are poems that he wrote when he was a young man living in Jamaica, and they're all in Jamaican dialect, and they're extremely difficult to read for me. I find poetry difficult anyway, so these have an extra added layer of difficulty where the dialect and patois is very hard to read because I'm not used to it, and that makes grasping the meaning of the poetry just that much harder. So it's a very short book. It's only 50 pages, unlike many poetry collections in that there are multiple poems on each page, and it's quite a dense collection. I've only been reading it for a day, but it's already taking me longer than I thought it would. It's April and it is National Poetry Month, so I was trying to read some more poetry, and I was really happy to find this at my local used bookstore for $1. So I am enjoying this, but it's definitely a little bit more strenuous for my brain, even more so than like normal poetry is. So I read a little bit of that this morning. Now I need to pick another book to read, and I think what I'm going to pick is Jazz Funeral by Julie Smith. This is one of the Skip Langdon novels, and I'm reading this for the Savage Prompts. So the Savage Prompt this month was to read a book set in your favorite city, and New Orleans is one of my all-time favorite cities, so I've been reading books with a New Orleans theme all set in New Orleans, and then I'm going to be putting out a vlog for that in May. I was kind of derailed. I thought I was going to be reading Florida, and I wasn't going to get to this one until May, but now I think I'm going to do this one next. Because in May, which is 1 week from today, I want to start reading for Horror Mayhem, so I have a bunch of horror books that I've set aside. I want to start reading for the Asian Readathon, so I have a bunch of Asian authored books that I want to read. I'm also working on a 20 books I found out about in 2020 reading vlog, reading some of the YA picks from that I haven't read yet. In May, I usually try to read romances, but honestly, I haven't been that in the mood for romances, and I don't think I'm going to get to it with all the other reading I have to do, but we'll see. You never know. I will not be updating you too much on it because I will be doing that vlog, but I will check in occasionally. I have a big to-do list today. I already checked quite a bit off my list. I've filmed a bunch of videos. I've filmed a bunch of like clips for videos, so reading wrap-up clips and the clips for the Savage Prompts blog and the clips for the TBR spin vlog. So I did all that. Monday now. The slow vlog that I put up today has already gone out, so that one's already good. But I had to film and edit a video for Wednesday before Wednesday, so I filmed that. I cleaned the mouse house. If you haven't heard about my mouse saga, here is the mouse synopsis and update. We found this mouse because our cat Martin loves to eat mice, and he was going to eat this tiny, tiny baby mouse, and it was really, really like teeny tiny, like an inch long. It was so little. So we saved the mouse baby, but we couldn't let him go in the house because obviously we don't want mice in the house. We couldn't let him go outside because it was just starting to be winter. It was really cold and he was too little, like he could have died. So we didn't want to do that. So we've been keeping this mouse. We've been feeding him and changing his little mouse house and, you know, protecting him from the cats for going on like 6 months now, I think. I'd have to look back to see exactly when we got the mouse, but I think it was like September or October. And every week I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let the mouse free today. My plan is to let him free outside when it's kind of warm and like in a semi-protected area, like put his little house out there so that he has some place to go to. But there's cats in our backyard, there's birds, there's possums, there's snakes. So there's people who would definitely eat a mouse out there. So my goal is to like tuck him away, give him a little house, give him a little protection, and then, you know, hope for the best. There's only so much I can do. I've already taken care of this mouse much longer than anyone would or I should have. Every week it's too cold still. We're at the end of April now, but this whole week it's going to be like in the 50s, which means it's going to be in like the low 40s at night. And I'm not too worried about him during the day, but at night he might get too cold and he has going to have to learn how to be like a whole mouse, forage for himself and eat food for himself. I don't want him to have to worry about cold. This week it's supposed to be a little bit warmer, but it's also supposed to rain, and that again doesn't really give him like a good chance to survive, and I want to give him the best chance to survive that I can. The mouse likes to come out and like check out his cage when I reconfigure it and clean it all up, and Irving likes to try to get him from outside his cage. So I have to keep shooing Irving off while I'm filming. We also had a squirrel rescue last week, so I am doing a video that has some footage of that in there, but I'll just show you a picture here of the squirrel. We're trying not to make this like Animal Kingdom, you know, like Wild Kingdom in here. We're trying to like just live our lives, but this mouse house was the big thing that I had to do today. I am supposed to be working from home today, but I think I'm not going to get much done. I'm going to try and do a little bit later, but I'm going to do like an hour when really I should be doing like 3 hours because I do have Wednesday to do that. So I think what I'll probably do is edit that video today so it's ready for Wednesday and then do all my work from home on Wednesday. There are a few more videos that I want to film. I've been doing some cleaning in between. I like cleaned a little bit of the library. I would like to get that done. I really need to pull out the library couch and clean that couch bed because it's like hasn't been cleaned or even opened in years, so I need to open it and clean it out. Nobody ever uses it. It hasn't been used since we lived in Brooklyn. About an hour and a half ago I put in my lunch, which is a baked potato, so I'm going to eat that. And I will just take you along with me throughout the week. Today is going to be like a stay-at-home cleaning, getting stuff done kind of day. Tomorrow I have to go to my office jobs and I have to pick a new audiobook. That's true too. I'll try to do that today too. Wednesday I have to work from home. Thursday I have to go into my work from home job and have a day full of meetings, but there is a thrift store that I found over there. Friday, I don't know. Saturday, there's a book sale, a used book sale at my local used bookstore. It's a used bookstore and new bookstore, but I only buy the used books. Sunday, I have no idea. Buckle up. This is going to be an interesting vlog. Hopefully it won't be too excruciatingly long, but who knows? Dramatic lighting. Well, it's now Wednesday, and I didn't update you yesterday because I ended up sleeping super late. My whole intention was to like get up early and do some stuff for this video and for other videos before I left for work. I mean, I'm technically supposed to be at work at 9:30, but I never get there at that time. I usually either get there earlier or later, and since I do my own work by myself, nobody really cares what I'm doing, but I always feel weird like going to work late, even though it happens all the time. Then I came home and I just crashed out. I was super tired. We ended up just having a little sides meal. We had that on Monday night as well. It's super hard for me to get nighttime dinner footage because the lighting is so bad in our dining room right now. This morning I worked on getting my video out. I made a thumbnail and got that ready to go and put it out. Now I do have to do Friday's videos still, but I think that one will be quick. I was good last week. I was ahead on videos, and then this week I've fallen behind on videos again somehow. And that seems to be like the ebb and flow for me, where one week I'm like a week ahead and I'm like, yes, great. And then the next week, or even like I'll be 3 or 4 videos ahead, and then all of a sudden those 3 or 4 videos have passed and I'm not ahead and behind. But I think going into May, I'll actually be pretty good because I have quite a few videos that are like mostly done, like my TBR spin video and my reading wrap-up video and videos that, you know, I just have to edit and then put out, but that's not too bad. I'm wearing the same sweater. I have been wearing this sweater 3 days in a row, but I didn't wear it all day, every day. I've done a terrible job at updating this, and I don't even think I can call it a week in the life. I think I have to call it like a few days in my life, or spend a few days with me, because I've done a bad job. It is Friday night. It is 7 o'clock almost. I did go to work yesterday. I did go to some thrift stores yesterday. I did buy a few things, which I'm excited about. But my May reset is going to be all about my capsule wardrobe. So I will be showing you the clothes that I got in that video. So you can definitely check that out. I'm sure that will come out before this. This sweatshirt is one that I got though, which is super cute and I really, really like it. I'm all about the tie-dye this year, all about the tie-dye. Today, I basically did nothing all day. I should have worked from home, but I was really tired and lethargic and it was like really rainy and gross out today. Well, not the whole day. We did go for a walk in the morning, which was nice, but then tonight I think we're gonna go out and get Chinese food, which we like barely ever do, especially not on a Friday night, but it's rainy, so I feel like not a lot of people are gonna be out, so we'll do that. And then tomorrow I have that book sale, so I'm going to take you along with me for that, and that's our update for today. It is now Monday evening and I didn't do much on Saturday besides go to the book sale. We did a little bit of house chores and I mostly took a nap and watched BookTube because it's been raining for days and days. Same with Sunday. It rained all day Sunday. I wanted to talk to you about the books that I got at the book sale. I got Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. I've heard totally mixed things on this, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. I got Once Upon a River by Dan Suttonfield. I got No Longer Human by Asamu Dazai. So I've seen this one around. It sounded interesting. I think it's about a man who kind of gives up on life and is no longer human. But I thought that this was like a contemporary book, but it turns out that this book was written in 1958 and reissued. Love this cover. I got The Guest Cat by Takashi Harari. This, I think, is about a couple who are having troubles in their relationship and a cat comes to visit them. I don't know if that helps their relationship or hinders it. I got If You Kept a Record of Sins. I actually have no idea what this is about, but these little editions are so cute. I got another one of these, so I thought I might as well pick this one up as well. The other one of these editions that I got is Eastbound by Malaya de Krangal. This is about a young woman who is conscripted to war, and as she's on the train to start her initiation or training, she decides that she's going to defect. I got The Witches of Linsfield by Paul Cornell. I have no idea what this is about, except I think it's just a witchy story about a village. It just looked fun. I got Uncertain Glory by Joan Sales. This one is an NYRB book, obviously. It is about a young man who's fighting in the Spanish Civil War, and when fighting stops, he meets an aristocratic woman and has an affair, I believe. And then I also got Among Flowers, A Walk in the Himalayas by Jamaica Kincaid. I've heard a couple of people talk about this recently, and none of them have liked it, but I think I'm going to love this. I've read one other Jamaica Kincaid this year, A Small Place, which is also a nonfiction, and this is about her visit to the Himalayas, her walking through and picking up seeds as she goes to bring back to her garden. People say that it doesn't have her like witty and sarcastic, biting humor, which I could definitely see, but I don't know if it needs it. And then finally, I did get 2 of the Wayward Children books. I have never read any in this series, but I got book 2 and 3 because I really want to read this. The prices were really good at the sale, and so I picked up 2 and 3, hoping that I'll eventually find 1. They're so short, I definitely will plan on reading them unless I really hate them, and even then I can just pass them along if I end up not liking the series as a whole. But I think from now on I'm going to start picking them up when I see them used because they are so loved. They're hard to find. Those were all the books that I got at the book sale. I also took the opportunity to sign up for the Asbury Park Co-op, and I've never been a member before, but it was only $50 a year, and you get certain perks. You get percentage off any purchases that you make, you get special deals, and when they have sales like this, usually it's even a more reduced price for members, so I thought that was great and totally worth it. A lot of the things that we love are disappearing, so some of the restaurants that we like have closed, and some of the facilities that we like to go to aren't there anymore. So I want to make sure that I'm supporting and voting with my dollar and making sure that I'm keeping the things that I love around me. I've been really struggling with where we live recently and our lifestyle to a certain extent. I think partly that's the shift in my working environment and not being so much part of the community, or not being forced to be out in the community. If I had my own druthers, I would just stay home all the time and be a recluse and be totally introverted. I really need that push to get out, and I think that that has made me look at our community with like a much more critical and negative lens in the last couple of years. And I mean, the pandemic and everything doesn't help, of course, at all either. I decided this week that I really want to embrace our lifestyle, rejuvenate it if I need to, start taking advantage of the things and supporting the things that I do love in this area, and trying to kind of rekindle my joy, re-spark my joy with where we live and the community around us. And it feels pretty good, and I'm going to continue to work on that. As far as the books that I was reading in this vlog, I was able to finish Women Hollering Creek and Other Stories by Sandra Cisneros, which is my TBR spin book for April, so you will see more of my thoughts on that in a dedicated vlog. And you can also check out my April wrap-up to hear thoughts on it as well. I got about halfway through Selected Poems of Claude McKay. These I'm finding really, really difficult to get through, and I don't know if I'm getting a lot out of them, but I am super excited to be reading them, and I think it's good to, now that I am slightly more comfortable with poetry, push myself out of my comfort zone. So I wasn't able to finish this by the end of April, but I will continue it into May. Then I was also reading, and I got about halfway, a little less than halfway through Dad's Funeral by Julie Smith. I wasn't able to finish this. I got stuck and I was feeling kind of slumpy reading this, as well as the Selected Poems and the short story collection. So I'm glad that I finished this, and I feel able to take a break from this one for a little while. I'm going to push this prompt into May's prompt 2, which is a book that is borrowed or secondhand. So since all my books are secondhand, these work for that. So it might be a slightly longer vlog than I was intending as far as how long it takes me to finish, but that is okay. Today is May 1st, and I finished 2 books today once I kind of released myself from my reading restrictions or reading plans that I had set myself. No one else set them for me, only I did. But already I read 2 things, so that's great. I feel good about it. So this wasn't exactly a week in my life. I didn't show you every aspect of every single thing I did, but I think you can maybe get an idea of what I was doing and what was happening. I would like to continue doing these every once in a while and even show you more. I would like to get more comfortable with vlogging and taking you with me to my jobs, and remembering to film is just a big part of it. It's not so much that I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not comfortable because I'm just not used to it. I'm not practiced in it. Let me know how your week is going, and let me know if you like seeing videos like this from me. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!